Hello everyone, this is Zarmony and I'm gonna do an overview about the Katowice qualifiers, or basically the EU regional for the first global championship in in Heroes of the Storm. So let's look which teams did actually made it to Katowice. We have Group A with Epsilon Esports, My Insanity, Team Dignitas, Natus Vincere. Then we have Group B, Team Liquid, Pigs and Blankets, Fnatic, and Virtus Pro. So, what do we expect from the teams? From my opinion, from Group A, the teams that should qualify are Team Dignitas and Naudus Vincere. Those teams are probably the strongest in the whole tournament, and I believe those two teams will also take the two spots for the Global. So the first match is gonna be Epsilon Esports against My Insanity. I predict that My Insanity should probably win against Epsilon, which was previously named Google. And so Epson's gonna go into the loser bracket of Group A and Mason's in the winner bracket of Group A. And then we have Team Dignitas against Natus Vincere. I think this is gonna be pretty close. But in the end, I think Team Dignitas is gonna take it. And afterwards, Natus Vincere is gonna win against Epsilon and against My Insanity after My Insanity loses to Team Dignitas as well. So I predict that Team Ninja is gonna go out of Group A as first seed and Natus Venture as second seed, and both of them should probably qualify also for the global. But I predict that the second spot, the second seed, so in this scenario, Natus Venture will have a hard time against the first seed from Group B. Alright, let's check out the Group B. So Group B is Team Liquid against Pigs in Blankets, first game. Team Liquid should take this. Pigs and Blankets are a new team. They qualified on the last qualifier. This should probably not be too much of an obstacle for Liquid, but the past few days, most of the teams weren't really playing that well, so we'll see how they're gonna train or prepare for Katowice. It's still like good 2 weeks for them to be prepared for the tournament. And the second match is gonna be Fnatic versus Virtus Pro. Um, this is probably weird matchup. I believe that Fnatic should obviously win it, but Virtus Pro got BKB, so I'm not really sure how good they're gonna be. Or they could be a bit more, they could be better now, and could be a threat to Fnatic actually, since Fnatic isn't having the best games as well lately. So Group is gonna be definitely like the most interesting. It's gonna be the more interesting group. Um, So let's say Liquid wins and Fnatic wins. I believe Liquid should win against Fnatic right now. If it will be like today. And so we have Team Liquid qualified for to be the first spot, and they're gonna play against Nautus Vincere. I believe they're gonna probably lose against them, but whatever. First we have still Pigs and Blankets against Virtus Pro. This could be a pretty like equal match, I'd say. Like both teams aren't the favorites in the group. Nothing's much expected from them, but they could surprise overall. So let's say let's say Virtus Pro just wins because names, even though it's not given. Then we have like a repeat of Fnatic Virtus Pro, which Fnatic should win. Meh. So then we have our semifinals. So basically for the global spots, it will be Dignitas against Fnatic. I believe Dignitas should have a quite easy time from looking the past games of ETS. Also, the second game, Natus Venture against Liquid. This should be a bit closer game, but Navi should take it overall. Like, uh, most teams are winning right now their first pick, and Natus is probably better than Liquid. So yeah, final should be again Dink versus Navi, and I'd say Dignitas should be winning it. like the whole thing. Even though this will be probably the most equal matchup or most interesting matchup in the whole tournament, Dignitas against Navi. So just a short explanation, but I don't think, let's say, Epsilon or Pigs, Mind Sanity or Virtus don't have much of a chance. So most of these teams are not individually on the same level as the other teams. But let's say Pigs and Blankets have had actually pretty good drafting in the last qualifier. Mind Sanity has usually problems, like either they play good or they play really bad nowadays, so they're really not stable about their performance. Then Virtus Pro, they're playing with BKB now. They could be better than before. I believe they are better than before as well. But I don't think they're good enough to beat Fnatic Wickets. Actually, I believe they're good enough to beat them from what I've seen lately. EU teams are pretty struggling. And then we have like Google. Google didn't like perform nowhere as close as good as they did in the first qualifier. It feels like the first qualifier was the only thing that they did anything really good. So yeah, to close it out, I believe Dignitas and Team Dignitas and Navi are gonna qualify for the global spot. But the second spot from Navi should be pretty close against, it should be like Navi or Liquid who's gonna take the spot, but Navi seems to be better overall. And Fnatic right now doesn't look like really strong or really threatening at all, so unless something happens in those 2 weeks, I don't think there's any like explanation possible that Dignitas would lose, except they would be like choking really hard on stage, but I kind of doubt that. So that's it from me, and yeah.